What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of GG Gaming. It is Friday, May 1st, and with me I have Alpha Stoutland.
What's up, guys?
And Nint Ice 2000.
Hi.
And it has been forever, it feels like, since we last recorded.
Yeah, man.
I don't even know when it was. But
I think it was in March.
Yeah, maybe. I don't even know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's probably March. Yeah.
Things have been kind of crazy.
Yeah, just a hair nuts. Yeah.
Hair nuts.
Or just a tad nut. There we go. That other one sounds a bit.
I mean, if you reverse just a hair nuts, then it's something else.
It's a tad nuts. There we go.
I'm not gonna say it, but you can imagine what the reverse of
very
hair
close
nuts is.
to being inappropriate.
Ew.
Anyway, so a lot has been going on, and at the same time, I feel like not much has been going on.
Yeah.
I don't monetize these, so I don't have to worry about getting demonetized for talking about COVID, but that's an issue that's going on.
You said the C word.
And not the curse word either.
Yeah.
You COVID. No, how dare you? But yeah, I've just been self-quarantining and not going out anywhere. And if I do, I wear gloves, a mask, and take a shower when I get home and do my clothes. Just overly cautious. Because I'm in New Jersey, so I'm in like the middle of it. So,
yeah.
How about you guys? You guys staying safe, I hope.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
It's like, no, I'm dead. But yeah, how have you guys been?
Doing pretty well. Like we talked about before we recorded, I have really not been affected much by this quarantining. I'm still able to get out and work. My business is considered an essential business where I work because we're a plumbing electrical house and we supply a military base and some hog houses. And of course, people need to come replace their pipes and fittings and glue stuff together if their plumbing messes up. So obviously we are essential because people need to repair their houses and stuff. And so I'm still going to work. I've been going to work for the past month or so and just sanitizing the counter, washing your hands, using hand sanitizer every time you take money, take a credit card, stuff like that. Definitely seen a lot of customers using face masks and stuff like that. And just overall, just being precautious. I don't think it's nearly as severe here in North Carolina as some other states, like of course New York and New Jersey and California and such. And so I am thankful that I really have not been affected, but there are so many people that have been affected by this. And of course, I'll keep my opinions about this for Twitter and for hopefully an upcoming video on my channel. But I really do hate the situation everybody's in. And though I don't think it's as severe as the media is making it out to be, I do think it's still a bad time in our nation's history and just definitely a trying time for all of us, whether we're working or not. So just hope you guys are staying safe and just taking care of yourselves and your families. And just even if you're like me and don't think it's as big an issue as, again, the media is making it out to be, it is still something that needs to be taken very seriously, and we need to be smart about, washing our hands and, covering our mouths when we cough. Just simple, common things that are just common sense. And so, but besides working and stuff, Animal Crossing, that's been my life for the past month or so. So it just, and I already told Drew this, but I have already dumped more hours into Animal Crossing New Horizons than I have Smash and Pokemon Sword
Combined?
So not combined, but no, thankfully, not yet. But I've clocked about 193 hours in Smash.
Oh my gosh!
In Smash, and 173 in Pokemon Sword. And since that was the other day when I checked.
For somebody who was complaining about Pokemon Sword, you sure did put a lot of hours into it.
Exactly.
Shiny hunting takes a lot of
If
time.
you hate the game, why do you keep playing it though?
You see,
shiny.
he's just sitting there playing, and you're like, "Damn it, I hate this," but I can't stop.
Shiny hunting takes so much time. That is one of the big. That's why I dumped hours and hours into certain games because man, shiny hunting is very time consuming. But yeah,
question for you.
I have not even touched Pokemon since I've gotten Animal Crossing. So yeah.
Question for you regarding that. I remember you saying you wanted to get all the alchemy forms. Did you ever do that?
I did a decent dent of it, but I still probably am missing probably about 20 to 30.
Yeah, there's like 63, I think.
Yeah, there's counting the shinies, there's 70. But yeah, I haven't gotten the first shiny yet of Alchemy. I haven't gotten. I have gotten a couple of the. I don't have enough ribbon and star sweets to get every single form of color palette and candy. And so I only have enough to really get 7 shinies. So I at least want to go for that and all the other ones I can. And obviously, I feel like they'll probably bring the whole Milcery event back with more candy, or they'll just make it where it just appears in Milcery raids. So I'm not sure, because it being time limited was kind of trashy. But yeah, I've started on it.
Since we're talking about Pokemon, so before we jump into Animal Crossing, I figured we'd talk about it for a little bit. And how do you get the different forms of alchemy?
It is all in the time of day, whether you're spinning the analog stick counterclockwise or clockwise, and again, like I said, time of day, and for how long. All this information is on Cerebi. I would never have known if I didn't look it up. All of my alchemy would look the same. So
the different suites or something, like different
raids and just the 3 baristas. No, is it 2 or 3? There's restaurants where you fight the guy behind the counter. And yeah, there's 3. Yeah, because 2 have a Milcery and an Milcery and Slurpuff, and then the final 1 does, and then the other 2 have Slurpuff and Alchemy. But they all have the chance of giving you sweets, along with stuff like rare candies and stuff like that. So just like food related items, and of course like the regional candies like the Rage Candy Bar, the Lumio Skelet, the Sable Shallure, and stuff like that. So it's all food related gifts, and the sweets are part of that. So that and raids are the only way to get, or excuse me, Milcery raids are the only ways to get those. So
now, is it Milcery or Milcery?
It's either Milcery, or Milcery. We talked about this with Papa.
Yeah.
Who knows what it is?
See, I recently started playing Pokemon Shield, and I have already beaten Sword, but I started playing Shield recently. Initially because I wanted to get Zamazenta, and I know that the upcoming DLC, there's going to be 2 different evolutions for the mythical, so I was like, I can get both. And what I started doing, after we were talking about it last time, was I started doing the Pokemon Home and transferring stuff, and then I got really into that, and I'm trying to make a living dex, which is why I was asking you about the alchemy, because I have to get all of them. And I did fill the national dex and got the original color Magearna, but I still want to get all the different forms of everything. And
okay.
I noticed I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I noticed that it is basically the national dex for Sword and Shield. So, it unfortunately it's like a paid feature. Like, you got to think of it like, oh, they brought the national dex, but you got to pay for it.
Yeah, there's a lot of paid features in Sword and Shield. Yeah, there's
so
quite a few.
If I think about like gotta catch them all in Sword and Shield, like, yeah, you can with Pokemon Home. You can't transfer them all, so you can't use them all. But you can basically, like, this is the national dex going forward, which is good and bad. It's good because now you have a central dex, so you don't have to catch them all over and over again, like from the beginning. Like, you catch, like, you got 1 through whatever now, so next time you already have that set already caught in your home. So yeah, I like it. I gotta get the different Vivian forms, which is a pain.
And a lot of those were event a couple of those were event exclusive too. So
I got the 2 event ones, Pokeball pattern and Fancy pattern. And I'm not sure, but I think the other patterns are based on your region.
Yep.
So, like, you can't really get a different pattern.
Yeah, you just have to trade and hope for the best. I think I got about 10 back in X and Y. my regional color is kind of lame. It's the purple and pink one, I think. It kind of looks like the Agrias butterfly in Animal Crossing, honestly.
Ooh,
But
we should trade Vivians.
I don't know
mine
how
is
many.
polar.
Like I said, I just. Oh, you mean like our regions? Yeah.
Yeah.
They may be the same. I don't know if it's East Coast or like Northern.
I don't know.
Upper
There's like
Coast.
20 something. I think 24.
Something.
Be
It's
wrong.
20 something to 30, I think. Yeah.
Mm,
But
yeah.
there's a bunch. And so I mean I like certain forms like that and Alchemy where it's like, oh, you can kind of customize it and use the one you want to. I don't like where they have like 50 different Pikachus and 10 different Charizards and stuff like that. So that's
Yeah.
kind of like, okay.
But I do have
that's
all the
kinda-
Pikachus.
Yeah. Okay.
See, they're all different hats.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nint, you've been awfully quiet. And,
Well, I haven't played Sword and Shield, so I can't really talk.
okay. Are you planning on playing them?
Well, my birthday's coming up next week, and I kind of maybe sort of possibly asked one of my sisters for it.
Okay.
Because you see, a friend of mine, he was insisting that I play the game in order to judge it myself, so he actually bought me the DLC.
Mm-hmm.
So I promised him that I wouldn't use the money for anything else, and that eventually I'd get Sword and Shield. So I might get it for my birthday, but I don't know.
Okay. And of course I'm not trying to discourage you because that was the exact same situation I was in, dude, where people were like, man, just play the game just before you judge it. And that's what I did, and I still did not like it that much. So it's just either way, it can work out for you or against you. But then at the same time, I've turned out to love Animal Crossing, and I didn't think I would. So hey, same thing with Hollow Knight, Dragon Quest, and a bunch of other games. So that's one exception. And of course it happens to be one of my favorite series of all time, but what can you do? So
Yeah, hopefully
And also
they'll
just people
learn.
judge games by also just watching them. So
Yeah.
I consider that fair play.
I'm trying to remember since the last time we recorded what has come out, like what's been released.
Not
And
much.
based on when we last recorded. But I know Resident Evil 3 Remake and Final Fantasy 7 Remake
uh-huh.
came out, and I played them. I'm still playing 7 Remake. I'm not
Okay.
done with it yet.
That game looks gorgeous, dude.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So, Resident Evil 3, I thought was amazing. People were saying it was on the short side and they cut some stuff out. And yeah, I agree. I wish they didn't cut some stuff out. But the game itself, as a complete package, was still a great game. I think my initial, and I usually explore a lot, so I don't just like run from A to B. It's like if I have to go from A to B, I'll usually go to every other path first.
Okay.
So it took me about 9 hours to beat, and I was okay with that because it's not like I have a lot of time like I used to. For people who have a lot of time, I understand. It's like I would want more out of it, but I was like, oh, that was nice. I did replay it to get all the like hidden collectibles. Then after I beat it the second time, I was like, all right, I think I'm done for now.
How are you enjoying Final Fantasy VII?
I'm really liking it.
Okay.
Sometimes I have some issues with the battle system. Nothing too major, but sometimes I feel like it's, like if I'm for something that's somewhat of an action game, I could be wrong, but I think that if you're blocking, you can still get hurt from behind. So it's like enemies that sneak up behind you, you can't see them from behind you. So what's the point of taking damage while you're blocking? Like, just have the block be universal for every direction. And so I get confused a lot on when I can and can't use certain items and stuff. I think
Okay.
I think you have to build up a gauge so that you can access spells and items and abilities. But I don't quite understand why you have to do that for items. Like, why do I have to build up a gauge to use an item? I guess because it goes along with the whole idea of being based on a turn-based system. But it's a gauge. It's not like a time-based gauge. It's an ability gauge. So like, why do I have to build up an ability gauge to use items? So there's little nitpicks here and there. And since I try to do all the side missions before going on to the main stuff, I've been spending a lot of time just doing random stuff, so that gets a little annoying. So I still feel like I'm pretty early in the game, even though I've put maybe like 13 hours into it or something. I don't know. But it's
now,
awesome.
did you play the original Final
Yeah.
Fantasy VII?
I played it quite a long time ago.
Okay. I've never played it, so playing
okay.
either one would be a totally new experience for me. And I have heard that they changed a good bit of stuff, but like the ending is completely different and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I heard of stuff, and I'm assuming it's correct.
Mhm.
And so I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to say it.
yeah.
But it sounds like they made some strange decisions that are like okay, but also like why did you do that kind of thing.
Okay.
So and this I can't even like without spoiling it. I can't even really like get
Yeah.
my point across, so I'm not going to.
Yeah, and I've
unfortunately.
avoided any spoilers in case I ever get the chance to play it because, like I said, it's a gorgeous game.
Oh yeah, it's
everybody
gorgeous.
looks super cool. And of course, everybody fighting over, Tifa, Aerith, they're both gorgeous. Just hush. It's just so. But yeah, it looks like a great looking game, dude. Cloud just looks so rad and just super
Yeah.
cool, especially compared to how blocky he looked in the old game. I remember seeing what he looked like in the old game for the first time. It was just like, wow. Because the first time I ever saw him was Kingdom Hearts 2. That was the first time
Yeah,
I
me-
ever saw Cloud. So
Yeah, me too, but only in Chain of Memories.
okay.
Yeah, I can't remember where I saw him first. I probably saw him in Kingdom Hearts first, and then because Final Fantasy VII was a game I went back and played. It wasn't a game that I played when it came out. So, but yeah, do you want to talk about Animal Crossing? Because I feel like that's something you're dying to talk about.
Yes, I am.
Well, I didn't really get to talk.
Yeah,
about
before I
it.
talk. Yeah.
I was assuming that you had played it and the two of you were going to talk about it, but
No, I'm getting it for my birthday.
okay.
Well, did you get the chance to talk about what you've been up to now?
Yeah, why
No,
don't
I
you go ahead?
didn't.
Okay, I didn't think you did. Okay. I will.
Yeah,
I will
why don't
hush.
you go ahead?
Well, really, I've just been beating all the games that I had to beat. Like, I beat Luigi's Mansion 3. I completed all the challenge levels in New Super Lucky's
Wow.
Tale.
Mhm.
I've gone back to Marvel's Alliance 3 because the last DLC pack came out. And I still haven't beaten it because I've been playing other stuff.
Mhm.
And this past Monday was Kirby's 28th anniversary, so I was revisiting
Hey.
because I was revisiting all the old games and listening to music all day. And leading up to it, I revisited all the true arenas, and I finally made a ranking of which ones are easiest to hardest, with the exception of Return to Dreamland, because believe it or not, I've never played that game. So.
Okay.
And remember long ago when I said that I wasn't a huge Sonic fan?
Uh huh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I can say that I am a full fan now, thanks to the movie
Why?
and...
His newfound love of Blaze.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
okay, look. I've loved Blaze ever since I was little, but
Okay.
I kind of told this story like on Twitter, but I guess I'll say it on here. I have a really funny story because for the longest time, I never actually knew who my favorite Sonic character was. It was either a debate between Tails, Blaze, or Vector.
Yeah.
But and the thing that makes me laugh is that there were so many, and this is just like what happened with Stitch too. There were so many things pointing to the answer right in my face, and I never realized it until
In the
later
movie?
on. No, not in the movie. I mean in the series
Oh.
as a whole. There's
Did
so
you
many
just-
things.
Did you start playing any of the games now or something?
Well, I've had Team Sonic Racing ever since it came out.
Oh, right.
But I did finally go ahead and beat Rush after revisiting it and realizing that the boss was only too hard because it was on hard mode. So
Oh.
Yeah.
That'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you gonna play Rush Adventure?
I want to, but it's a pretty old game. If not, I'll probably just watch a walkthrough of it.
Okay.
Because the only thing I know in that game is that in that one, Sonic goes to Blaze's world. So yeah, because he's from another dimension to Sonic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a whole can of worms right there. Because
to
Sonic 2006, Blaze is from the future, and that caused the whole
Gosh.
like.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that Blaze was in Sonic 06 till recently. I was like, oh, she's in that game.
Although the fan theory and my personal headcanon, which I kind of came up with and then saw some other people had thought of that too. So I was like, maybe this was what they were going for. But the idea is that at the end of Sonic 06, everything kind of resets. But before things reset, Blaze, she like uses the Chaos Emeralds to essentially like teleport to a different dimension. And so it seems like the reset at the end of the game happens, but Blaze maybe isn't as affected because she's in a different dimension. And so my headcanon is that after Sonic 06, she basically gets her whole history rewritten to have been always in that, where she is in Sonic Rush. So that kind of like is basically the best explanation you could get, because there is no official say in the matter.
You actually like Sonic 06?
Yeah, I really liked it too.
Yeah, because with that game, people usually really hate it, or for some reason like it, despite all the bugs and Silver being broken as heck.
Aside from the bugs, I remember I didn't. Thankfully, I didn't encounter as many bugs as I've seen other people. But I enjoyed that game. There was a couple of frustrating parts that, thinking back at it, I don't really recall them as much. But it was very difficult, and there was one story part where Blaze, Mephiles tells Silver and Blaze something about a blue hedgehog being the Iblis trigger, and Blaze repeats to herself blue hedgehog. And so a lot of people were like, oh, so how does she already know Sonic? But I saw somebody else point out that in the original script, the Japanese version, instead of blue, they use the word aoi, which can mean blue or naive. And so it's kind of meant as like, I don't think pun is the right word, but it's kind of like an ironic word for her to kind of be like, naive hedgehog, which could also mean blue hedgehog. So I guess it just, when they translated it, they just said blue. So it was like a play on words that didn't translate well. Okay. So in my head canon, I'm like, no, it's still okay. Plus, technically, if somebody said blue hedgehog and you think to yourself, blue hedgehog, that doesn't mean you know who the blue hedgehog is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if I told you the monster that you have to fight is 10 feet tall, and you're like, 10 feet tall? And then you're like, oh, so you know. No, I don't know it. And you just repeat it because you said 10 feet tall. So, but yeah, that's my Sonic rant.
What's with all these games having confusing lore?
Because they're games that have a lot of lore. Once you have a lot of lore, it becomes confusing lore.
Yes.
Expect Kirby's
like
especially
every Sonic game introduces a new lore pretty much, and it's like, oh, okay. It's like just so many like deities and stuff. It's like, okay, that's weird.
So does Kirby, and the Kirby lore seems to keep getting darker and darker as the series goes on.
Everything's starting to kill Kirby, man.
Sonic apparently takes place.
What kills Kirby?
I said everything's just out to kill Kirby, man. It's just.
Yeah, I need to tell you this. Kirby is overlooked way too much. It looks easy, but I'm telling you, there's some really brutal challenges in there. Like I said, I revisited every single true arena leading to the anniversary. Kirby gets really, really hard, and the lore is very, very deep.
I always wanted to play Kirby, but I never got to.
Please play it.
I was really trying to get the anniversary collection on the Wii at the time when it came out, because I was like, this is going to be my introduction to it. I get to play the first batch of games, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I was like, well, I don't want to play any of the newer games. I'm one of those people who, like, I definitely have OCD about needing to play things in their release order. I'm like, well, I'm not going to play any of the new stuff because I didn't play the old stuff. I guess an exception being Mario, because my first Mario game was 64. But then again, that doesn't really have much lore to it. It's always like Bowser kidnaps Peach.
Yeah,
Plus,
Kirby
I can't
doesn't really
play
have a canon
old school
story.
Mario.
I mean, it has canon, but not like a specific order.
Plus, I'm absolutely terrible at playing old Mario games. It's so frustrating that I don't even want to go back to play them.
Oh yeah.
Because I grew up with the Sega Genesis. I didn't grow up with Nintendo or Super Nintendo. So whereas a lot of kids who were kids at the time, a lot of people who played Mario growing up, they spent a lot of time playing it, and so they're good at it. So they can, like, a friend of mine, I was playing co-op with Mario, one of the Mario games, and he basically beat the game for me. So
Wow.
I can't do this. So I remember I really tried to play and beat the first Mario, because I had the anniversary collection that came with All Stars. And so I played the Super Mario Bros. Remake on the SNES version, and I got as far, after really struggling, I got as far as the last world or last level or world or whatever, and I could not do it, and I was like, I'm done. Like, I must have sat there for an hour or so, and I couldn't do it. I'm just like, I had so many complaints about the way Mario played. Like, it's too slippery, too this, too that. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
Interesting.
Meanwhile, give me a Sega Genesis, I'll, like, absolutely obliterate the Sonic games for you. Because that was what I grew up on.
Interesting. Because I kind of have similar feelings toward Mega Man.
Mega Man, I played all of them in college because I played the I keep mentioning all these anniversary collections, but I played the Mega.
I guess that's the theme of this episode, huh?
Anniversaries and Animal Crossing. Yep.
Anniversary Crossing.
Yeah,
the title.
I figured that's gonna be the title.
But yeah, I played the Mega Man collection and the Mega Man X collection, and I had a lot of trouble playing Mega Man, but I somehow powered through it, and I don't know how I did that. And I was like, Mega Man is easier than Mario.
Oh,
I can actually do it.
Strongly disagree.
I agree tenfold, because for me, because I beat Mega Man 1 through 11 now, and some of the Game Boy games. Meanwhile, I can't beat any old school Mario game.
That's like definitely depends on what games you were raised on. I mean, because for you, Sonic and Mega Man are your bread and butter, because Sonic was what you were raised on, and then you went hardcore in college on Mega Man. And so, I mean, I'd probably be terrible at both of them, but I mean, it's just because I just hadn't really played them much. And so, it definitely does depend on what you're familiar with playing, for sure.
How do kids even tolerate Mega Man anyway? It has such cheap level design that just gets on my last nerve, and it's why I can't get into it.
Yeah, some of the earlier Mega Man games had some cheap things, but there were ways around it, like the Iceman stage, how ridiculously difficult with all the disappearing platforms. You can basically skip all of that if you get the magnet beam in Gutsman stage. So it's like you can kind of cheese it with the stuff they give you. The only times that you can't really do that is with some of the final bosses that were ridiculous. Like the boss rush in the first game is terrible, because it's like where the boss rushes had evolved into, like, here's a room, here's 8 teleporters, fight every robot master, and in between each one, you can refill a chunk of your health.
Yeah,
the first
Kirby's
game was
exactly
not
like
like that. The first game, like you would run throughout the final level, like you'll encounter a couple of them, and there's no healing in between them. And I think right before you fight Dr. Wily, who's ridiculously difficult on his own, you have to fight, I think, 3 robot masters, and there's no health things between.
Whoa.
And I don't remember how I did that, but I remember wanting to die.
Yeah, I kind of my last attempt at getting into Mega Man was 11, and I rage quitted at the end because
Really?
the end. You have to fight all 8 robot masters that's powered up in a row, and if you die, you have to start all over again. I'm sorry, but screw you, Capcom.
That's not that big of a problem. But then again, I can't play Mario, so.
That vent right there, Nint, is about how I felt trying to play Crash Bandicoot. Because,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, there's sometimes I was like, stop killing me! Oh my gosh, I was raging hard.
I don't
There's
think
not
I
a lot
ever-
of games that really do that to me, but
I
I'm
don't
telling you, the
I
first
ever
game.
gave
Really? There's a lot of games that make you mad. Oh,
I said there's not a lot of games.
Oh,
I think Mario is the only video game I ever gave up on.
ouch. Mamma mia!
Mamma mia! But they made up for it with Mario 64.
Yeah, that's
See, I don't
Luigi.
dislike Mario. I just dislike the difficulty of the classic games because
Yeah.
they're difficult for me.
Ah, yes, because I feel the same way with Ori. I love the character, but I hate the crap out of his game.
Yeah, and
I got
there
I got
are-
so angry. I even killed Ori on purpose to just vent.
Mhm. And I do appreciate Mario. I don't want people thinking, "Oh, Andrew hates Mario." That's not true. I'm just saying I personally have difficulty with the first
He's just trying to backtrack.
games.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up. But no, but
you
seriously,
shut up.
because I played New Super Mario Bros. I played New Super Mario Bros. U. I played 64. I played 64 DS. I played Odyssey. And man, I really like all those games. So I'm excited for the supposed rumored collection, because then I'll get to play Galaxy and Sunshine, and I'm looking forward to that because I really like Mario. It's just I hate the first couple of games because I can't beat them.
Yeah.
And I've never played Sunshine or Galaxy or what was the third one that they were talking about that was going to be bundled with it?
I think it was
64. Yeah, I haven't played any of those. Like Odyssey and 3D Land. And then I think as a kid it was Super Mario World maybe 3? It was either the first one or is where he looks all round and chunky when he gets big. And it's like rounded, and that's where Yoshi I think was introduced. I think it is Super Mario World.
Called Andrew Sucks at Mario.
No, go for the anniversary.
Okay.
It's much more positive.
Yeah.
Anniversary crossing, aka Andrew Sucks at Mario. But was there anything else you guys wanted to talk about before jumping into Animal Crossing? Because I know that.
I wanted to share how I finally got the brick thrown at my head of who my favorite Sonic character was.
Oh, go ahead.
Because seriously, after this, I felt so
Sonic,
stupid.
right?
Yeah. Okay, so as I said before, ever since I was a kid, I've just always loved Blaze. I always
Yeah, she's awesome.
played as her in Sonic Rush. I barely use Sonic. Case in point, on Twitter, I made a tweet that I made it to the end of the game with Blaze, but with Sonic, I was like halfway done. So that proved it. But anyway, so as I said before, it was either her, Tails, or Vector for who my favorite was. What finally helped me realize how she was my favorite was I did research on her character. So, I looked at her personality and all that, and I was like, oh my gosh, she really relates to me. And she just so happens.
You can manipulate fire?
Yeah. Yeah, I was about to get to that. Some of you may be like, oh, she uses fire and you're an ice person. Why do you like her? Because she's awesome. and besides, there is fan art of a nice version of her, so,
You're just full of conflictions, aren't you?
Actually,
because then you say you're a dog person, but you love all these fictional cat characters, and it's funny.
Yeah, it was driving me crazy. Like, what's my deal with cat characters? It was driving me nuts.
I'm definitely about half and half with dogs and cats, because I like
I can
Snoopy
tell.
and Pluto and Goofy and Scooby and stuff. But then I also love, Garfield and all those guys, and of course like Meowth and stuff. But yeah, there's some great cat and dog characters. And of course Disney is full of them, but there's plenty of, Stoutland. But yeah.
Yeah, and you know the funniest part? One day I called my brother, and then I asked him, "Hey, who do you think my favorite Sonic character was?" And guess what he said? He said Blaze. And I was like, what? How? And then he told me, I don't know, because you talked about her all the time. I was like, wait, I did? And he's like, yeah.
You did?
And to top it all off, in high school, when I was taking my graphics class and I made 2 video game posters, guess who the 2 characters were? I made one of King Dedede, and what do you know it? One of Blaze.
Hey, okay.
I was like, oh, how did you not see this? just like with Stitch. I was like, so for the past over a decade, I was like, I don't know who my favorite Sonic character was, and then I just pictured grabbing my head and just slamming it on the Blaze poster I made. But so yeah, there's that story. But hey, better late than never, right?
Guess you could say your love of Blaze has truly been rekindled. Oh! I had to get a bad pun in, guys. You know that's me. I had to get one in there somewhere.
Yeah, so ever since then, I also got the IDW comics, which are freaking awesome.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been playing the games again.
Are you all caught up with the comics?
Let's see. But I got books volumes 1 through 5, and when I first got them, I instantly read the first book on day 1. Once I started, I just couldn't put it down. I loved it that much.
Did you ever read the Archie comics?
I have some of them, and I do have 3 volumes of the Archie comics, and I reread them, and yeah, IDW was better.
IDW picks up. I mean, it's its own continuity, but story-wise, it kind of assumes all the games happened and picks up from after Sonic Forces, whereas the Archie comics had their own continuity and didn't really follow any of the games having happened, unless it kind of specifically talked about certain events. But it had started, because it started back when Sonic the first or second game was out, so they kind of branched off into different things, and here and there kind of overlapped with stuff. And so the IDW Sonic, since it's a completely new version, had the opportunity to follow along with the games, so it had already set up with that.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I love about those comics. They're about the video games, whereas Archie is kind of their own thing, and sometimes it was really, really weird. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
But
I mean, I still got some fun out of rereading the ones I had, but like I said, once I started IDW, the first book, I just couldn't put it down.
yeah, I mean, I have to say, I enjoy them both.
Especially since the fourth issue just so happened to have Blaze in it, and when I saw this huge full page of her, I just freaked out.
Yeah. Now, the only thing I don't like is that Sega seems hardcore against mixing classic and modern, and by that I mean Mighty, for example, Mighty and Ray only ever appeared in Classic Sonic. So in the IDW comics going forward, it's Mighty and Ray can't appear because this comic is based on modern Sonic, which is ridiculous. In the Archie comics, it was a bit looser because they had already appeared and they kind of had leeway with that. So Mighty and Ray were in it, but now it's now they'll never appear unless we have a classic Sonic comic. So
They could do something like they did with Generations. They could just do that.
yeah, I guess, but Sega are very particular about what they do and don't want Sonic doing, which is, it stifles creativity, unfortunately. But what we are allowed to see is good, though. I mean, I really like it. I mean, did you, I'm assuming if you're on Volume 5, you finished.
I specifically
But here's the thing: I want to read books 4 and 5, but at the same time, I don't because I don't want to finish them too quickly. Because again, I love these comics.
You can buy them digitally, and
Ooh, I'm not a digital. Anyone who knows me, I'm not a digital person.
see, I buy the issues digitally, and I buy the graphic novels physically, so I can have them. Because buying.
Oh, so you like read them first and then you own them physically later?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. I mean, paying for both. Obviously, I'm not pirating it. I'm buying it on the IGW app. But initially, I wanted to get all the comics in print and the graphic novels, but it was starting to become an issue of where I'm gonna store them. And so where I do really want the issues physically, I couldn't really keep up with it. Whereas I was able to just press a button and say, like, here's $3 or whatever the cost was. Like, oh yeah, I can read it. Yeah. And I'm very OCD about, and people throw that term loosely, but I think I like actually have OCD. So like when I'm turning pages, I'm always like wiping my hands on my shirt to make sure I don't get oil on the page and stuff. And I get very particular about keeping it as mint as I can. And so that kind of, I basically annoy myself when I read comics. So it's so much easier to avoid that digitally. Like I don't have to worry about turning a page too fast and accidentally ripping it. Not like I'm going to sell the book, but to me, I feel like it loses its value if I ruin it somehow. So digitally, it's like, oh, I can't ruin it. So I've been able to enjoy my reading process a bit better.
That's nice.
Yeah. And then I buy the graphic novel.
Tango and Whisper, the volume book, recently came out, so I hope to buy that for my birthday. Yeah. And I know that volume 6 comes out next month. And
I'm two graphic novels behind because I haven't been going out anywhere during this quarantine. But when I get the chance, I have 2 books to get. I have volume 5 and the Tangle and Whisper arc.
Yeah.
And a new miniseries is coming out called The Bad Guys. So.
Yeah. Sir Billy Ellis joke here.
What?
Insert Billy Ellis joke here.
So yeah. Everybody ready to jump into the Animal Crossing pit?
Mm-hmm.
I think I fanboyed enough, so.
All right. Alpha, take the lead.
Okay. So that, like I said, that's pretty much what I've been up to since March 20th. That has been a daily event, and I have to say, starting off, before I really delve into what I've been up to in the game, I really have never had any interest in the Animal Crossing series. I considered getting New Leaf, possibly, around the time Villagers got into Smash. I was like, New Leaf looks alright, but I never really was like, this game is a must-buy. I always thought, honestly, and this is coming from someone now who likes the game, it always just looks so boring and mundane to me. I was like, you literally just go around and plant flowers and talk to animals and all that. Yes. And then I get the game, and that is all you do, but it's amazing.
It's good.
And it's
and you get to make
really
your own
fun
stuff, too.
Yeah, you craft
That's like
stuff.
if you try to tell somebody what sleeping was, and you're like, you mean all I do is lay on a bed? Like, that's boring.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
So, like,
you don't walk until you try it.
Just like you go comatose for like 8 hours, and then you just wake up, and it's like the best thing ever, dude.
And you're like, wow, I didn't know doing nothing was so nice.
It's just...
But it's, it's just like Winnie the Pooh said, people say nothing's impossible, but I do nothing every day. And nothing is the best type of something.
It's true.
But man, I'm telling you, it has got me by the throat and will not let go. It is such a fun game. It's almost too overwhelming because there is so much to do. There's daily stuff to do. You got to pick your weeds, you got to water your flowers, you got to go catch some bugs. Every month, you got new bugs and fish to catch, so you go catch those and give them to Blathers. You can catch 3 more of the same kind to get it to Flick and CJ, so you can get a statue of it. And then, of course, you got to talk to all your villagers so they don't leave. And then you got to hit villagers you don't like with the nets so they do leave. I already ran off Leopold. I'm trying to run off Gaston. But yeah, there's just so much to do. There's the Mystery Islands. Of course, there's Red now. Like I said, there's bugs and fish. And honestly, the museum is the highlight of the game for me. It is gorgeous.
I love the museum.
It looks so cool, man. Yeah. And just I've seen screenshots of like New Leaf and other games, and just the graphical upgrade from then to now, it's just phenomenal. These bugs look so realistic. The world, the water, the trees, it looks so good for a game that's so simple. It's
now,
just,
what's the deal with the tarantulas? I keep seeing people posting about tarantulas.
Okay, so I have hunted several hundred tarantulas at this point, and
the tarantula hunter.
Yes. Oh, good day, mate. It's the tarantula hunter.
That's a mighty fine tarantula.
Tarantula King.
I have been jumped by several tarantulas. It's not an easy job hunting, but hey, someone's got to do it. They are easy money though. I made around, it was either $1 million I made over 2 million bells selling tarantulas to Flick. Your boy made bank. So I paid off my house with money to spare. But yeah, tarantulas, they come out at dark at 7 o'clock till about 5 in the morning, I think. And scorpions just showed up today, so I will be hunting that when I get home, so I can get to a museum. And
here?
No, what they do?
Always around?
They are yearly. Or they're seasonal, I should say. Scorpions come out from, I think, May to November, and then tarantulas are from the other period, so like November, December to April. They just quit appearing last night, so I caught about 8 more on a mystery island, along with like 2 or 3
appearing
tarantulas. They're seasonal, so they come out after 7 till about 5 in the morning, and so they spawn along with other insects and stuff like that, and so you just have to find it in the overworld, and it's crawling across the ground, and it is about 1/5 the size of your villager, and that is terrifying because that thing is big, and I'm an arachnophobe, particularly with tarantulas, so the first time I saw one I was like, oh no, so and every time I see one and it rears up, it's like, I'm just like, oh. So
Yeah.
I do not like spiders. I will take a snake any day over a spider.
I don't like any bugs at all.
Yeah, most bugs do creep me out, but the butterflies in this game are stunning. The butterflies are gorgeous. But anyway, back to tarantulas. So you just basically, you follow them around until they turn around and hiss at you, and then you stop. Wait till they stop hissing, and you just creep towards them, and then you hit them with your net, catch them with your net. And those babies sell for 8,000 bells a pop. And if you give them to Flick, they're 12,000 bells. And that is a lot of money.
That must be why people are catching so many of them.
That is why I have probably over 250, maybe around 300 in the expanse of the entire time. I'll just go to a mystery island, wipe the entire forest out, and just hunt tarantulas. And there's
You cut the trees down?
Oh yeah, because trees spawn like Atlas moths and stuff, and so you have to chop the tree.
Where are you, tarantulas?
If it's raining, it spawns snails, and then you have to scare off tiger beetles and wharf roaches. Yeah, dude, that's the thing. You have to really play to, because the spawn ratios are different for each bug. Some are super rare. Tarantulas are technically really rare unless you go to Tarantula Island.
Like they fall out of the trees, or it actually rains snails?
No. In rain, snails show up on the rocks, so you have to break the rocks so the snails don't show up. You have to chop the trees down.
You were saying that it rains snails.
Oh no, it's rain and snails.
Ew.
That'd be disgusting. But anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, now scorpions are showing up because now it's May, and they stay there for about 6 months. And so I'll be hunting those when I get home tonight, along with the catfish and some other new fish. So
I hope I'll eventually play this game, but I've been preoccupied with other games at the moment.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this is what I've been preoccupied with for a lot. But yeah, I apparently anglerfish are also called football fish, and dolphin fish are also called mahi-mahi. I have learned several bug and fish names, so.
Mahi-mahi, I've heard that.
Yeah, and I always thought it was like a tuna or something, but it's the big green fish on the Salt Life shirt, so I think that's a dolphin fish. I'm pretty sure. Also, I'm from the South because we wear Salt Life, and, Salt Life shirts are swag. But, yeah, But yeah, I guess anglerfish or football fish, unless they're just 2 different subspecies or whatever, because every time I caught it, I was like, oh, an anglerfish, and it said football fish. I was like, what the heck is a football? It doesn't even look like a football. So it just, but yeah, but now, like every month, new ones come in rotation. There's certain months, like I think June is when the firefly comes out, and you can catch fireflies, and so I'm very much looking forward to that, because I'm from, like I said, I'm from North Carolina, and so some rural nights when it's nice and cool and the fireflies just are out in the yard and they're just flickering. It's gorgeous. And so I'm very excited to see that in Animal Crossing. But yeah, so obviously you can tell I'm an animal lover because that is like the main draw to the game for me. But of course the villagers are great too. I'm currently trying to get villagers that I don't like out. Like I said, I'm trying to run Gaston out of town because that is one ugly dude and I do not like him. And I've already got a grumpy villager.
Wow, that's pretty sad. Gaston's bad in Disney and in Nintendo.
This
I guess
he's
the
not
name
evil. He's just
The name
not
Gaston.
visually.
I guess the name
ugly.
Gaston is cursed to not be likable.
No one sucks like Gaston. No one's kicked like Gaston. No, I don't know.
No one lives in a village as long as Gaston.
He just won't leave, dude. It's like I ignored him. That didn't work. So now I'm hitting him with my net every day.
you mean Gaston as the yellow bunny, right?
Yes, with the mustache.
Yeah, because I know him because I played a little bit of Pocket Camp. So,
Okay. But yeah, I already ran Leopold the Lion off because I just did not like him. I had to get him because he was my first campsite villager, and those automatically join you, or you cannot progress with the story as such, or just the continuous upgrades. So I had to add him, and I quickly ran him off. So, but I'm trying to run. That's the thing. There's only 2 villagers that I really need, and that's Audie and Meringue, because oh my gosh, they're so freaking cute, and just I love their design, and just man, I love them. They're great.
It seems weird to like Animal Crossing even if in real life you don't like animals.
Maybe because I think
they're like
Pokemon and
humanoid
other
animals.
games, I feel like I love so much because I love animals. I have since I was a kid, and this is just like I get to catch animals.
Enslaving creatures. That's why
I love catching animals and befriending animals. So it's like Pokemon, but split into 2. So it's like you befriend. It's funny because there's like you can get a hamster cage and have a hamster villager. You can catch frogs, but have a frog villager.
Neighbor, run!
And that's the thing. I caught a frog for the first time today because that's one of the new things that got added. It was actually the first thing I found in the pond today. And it's funny because when you catch a frog, it says either this is a new villager, I've got some explaining to do. And I was like, I love how meta this is, man, because it's like you can have a frog villager, and I literally just caught a frog in the pond. I love it. It's so ridiculous.
Also kind of disturbing too when you think
a little
about
bit.
it.
Yeah, it's like what makes him different than me? Why am I catchable and why can I talk and he can't?
Versions of humans.
That's weird.
Imagine
What, is Animal Crossing gonna be the next series to join the confusing as heck lore?
Yes.
Oh.
Yep. But yeah, if you can tell, I'm very much excited about it and very passionate about it because I've gone in hard this last month, man. It has been so much fun. And it's funny because I really have neglected, I've upgraded my house completely. KK Slider's been showing up and stuff like that. So
have you been like building your island or customizing or shaping
I
it?
have been to an extent. There's a couple things I want to do. I just got done laying out the tile for my neighborhood. What?
Hello?
I did.
You kind of disappeared there.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have terraforming yet. So they were all spread out. So now it's taken 50,000 bells a pop to move everybody's house into the little neighborhood I've got built. And so I've got my starters, Renee and Scoot, on my left and right side because they're my starters. And then I've got, I do want to read off the list just to see who all I have on my island because just, in case you guys are curious, just in case.
I don't recognize any of them. Well, I played New Leaf and a little bit of Pocket Camp, so I might recognize some names.
Yeah, I know some villagers because I played.
I know,
but my start.
Now I know who Gaston is.
Yeah,
I knew who Gaston was.
But my starters, like I said, were Renee the Rhino and Scoot.
The bells.
What the heck did I laugh
pretty
for?
Good.
It was supposed to be a punny laugh. I don't know.
Oh.
Bell. Ha ha ha.
Isabel.
That'd be funny. Oh. But anyway, my villagers, my current villagers, because like I said, I've already run Leopold off. Currently in the process of trying to run Gaston off. Renee the Rhino.
We don't
Scoot
accept your kind around here, rabbit.
I'll kill the wabbit.
Just.
So Renee the Rhino.
Up in your village, and you're like, yes. I heard you were having gay
With who,
star
huh?
problems. All right, go on.
Okay. We got rid and Scoot the Duck, that were my starters, and I will never let them go. They're on my island for life. Stu the Bull, I love Stu. I love Stu, dude. Bella the Mouse. I also have Greta the Mouse. I've got Margie the Elephant. She's my latest addition. I love Margie. Zucker the Octopus. Like I said, Gaston the Bunny. Spike the Rhino, and Flurry the Hamster. And so, of all of
So you
those,
can
Gaston will be
9 villagers on an island at once.
10.
10. Oh, that's pretty good. That's a nice number.
Yeah. Out of 400.
How many?
I think that's more that you can have in
Dude,
Pocket Cap,
so
if I remember correctly.
Really?
400 potential villagers.
Yes.
Now, does each? Is there a benefit for like each one? Like, do they offer something?
There's 8 personality types, and so besides just pure aesthetic, the way the cat that everybody and their mother loves and wants on their island is a smug personality type. And so he's just kind of laid back, he's super nice, but he's kind of full of himself, whereas Audie, the wolf that I want, is hecking adorable. And she's like, life, I love you, I love everything, I just want to be happy all the time. And so she's like super peppy and upbeat and just always very personable and likable and stuff. And then it's funny because the grumpy characters are supposed to be like kind of grouchy and stuff, but Spike's honestly super nice. Gaston doesn't like me very much. I mean, I guess whacking him in the head with the net will do that.
Ouch!
But
That's
Spike is very nice.
Get out of here!
Oh, kill
That's the
the
only way you
rabbit!
can squam, you wascally wabbit. It's just so.
Kill the rabbit!
But, yeah.
Kill the rabbit! Kill the rabbit!
Rabbit Phaeton.
We only have rabbit season. We will not have duck season because Scoot is precious and I will never let him go. So. But yeah, I had considered getting some like Fauna the deer and Molly the duck, and I have.
That glitch.
But there's
For
there's
some
so
reason
many
your
good
audio
villagers.
keeps glitching. Alpha.
Oh really?
Fun.
Yeah.
I laugh really hard when it comes to
Fauna.
glitches.
I did not say
It's-
that other thing. Fauna the deer.
Now that
But yeah.
I don't know, that's a pretty tempting episode title. Fawn.
Let's check out the floor and fawn. It's like a motorcycle having trouble starting.
I'm like the master of making noises.
There's a couple noises I can do pretty well, but I do trombone sounds a lot. It's funny because is it weird that I do sounds and voices around my house all the time?
No, it's not. I do the
Like,
same
I'm
freaking
going
thing, and
through
my
the
mom
house,
gets
and I'm
on
just
me
like-
of that. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy you said that. Thank
I get the
you.
look though from anybody who's around.
Yes.
It's like,
I'm
what
so
who are you
happy.
talking? Like, who are you talking to?
I know,
Myself.
I'm just doing
Thank
voices
you.
to myself. So
This sexy beast in the mirror. That's what I'm talking to.
Yes. I'm
looking-
so happy. I don't feel alone now.
But I'll be just walking, and just like at work, I'll be sitting there just. All of a sudden, I just think of the song. It's like, and so I just like do. It's like, why am I doing this? It just, but it's entertaining. It's like honestly, that is one thing I've learned through doing YouTube. I think I'm hilarious and entertaining, even if nobody else is thinking that. But it's just, I hope that doesn't sound conceited. It's just like, oh, my jokes are funny, and then it's like, dude, shut up, you are not funny. So it just. The struggle is real, man. It's like, am I really a successful YouTuber, or do I just think I am? So it's just.
You saying that was really comforting to hear. I really must say, because my mom gets on me for that a lot, and yeah, I'm happy you said that. Really am.
But I'll just randomly go into this random voice. Like, obviously, I like baby talk my cats and dogs, like, who you good girl, and like all that stuff. But
Yeah.
I'll be sitting there talking to my brother or my sister and my
You
mom,
like
and just be
too.
like, hey. What's up? Hey, hey, hey! Like, just my voice drops like 5 octaves or raises 3 octaves. I don't understand it. But I didn't mean to get off from Animal Crossing to weird noises, but that's just that's the nature of the beast, I guess.
For some reason.
Mm-hmm. What'd you say?
I make squeak noises a lot for some reason. I don't know. Sometimes it just happens. Especially when I'm next to my plushes.
That's one right here. But yeah. But yeah, like, and it can be just random, like the trumpet sound. It can be animal noises. It can be just character voice. It does not matter. I just do random junk all the time, and it's like, why are you doing this? But at the same time, it's like, if I don't use it, I'll lose it. So it's like, aloha cousin, hey, I might kill. It just, I have to do it or I'll lose it.
Use it or lose it, buddy.
Yes, boy. Dude. It's just like, well, I want to keep talking like Stitch and Goofy and Mickey, and so I just drop it a couple times, pal, and it just, yeah, I didn't mean for us to go from Pokemon to Sonic to Animal Crossing to weird random noises we make, but
I kind of noticed something when I'm around. The episode's diverse. That's just who I am. I'm a person of
diverse and it diverges.
I mean, have you not seen my banner? My profile pictures, all the characters I have. I'm a diverse person.
You're a multifaceted man.
Yes.
Like, dude, there goes the voice again. It just I do it all the time.
It's like an impulse.
Yeah, man, it really is. It's crazy.
And unlike what some people believe, that does not mean that you're a mentally challenged person. Oh.
I'm not crazy, you're crazy.
I'm not crazy. You're crazy!
Who are you talking to? Myself?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll leave that where it is before it goes any deeper down the rabbit hole. Because I'm already late for an important date. So, you know. We're all a little mad here.
Change places. It's quiet. Too quiet. Careful, it's a trap. Use bombs wisely.
There's a trap.
It's a trap. I don't know why that line.
Anyway.
Can I do one real quick random? Because that made me think Star Wars. That made me think R2-D2, and I could do the R2-D2 scream.
Ooh.
Okay.
Don't judge me.
Good old R2.
I love R2, dude.
BB-8 and Dio are great, but you can never replace R2.
Dio? Which one is Dio?
The one from Rise of Skywalker, which gets too much hate.
That is coming out Monday, and I will be watching it on Disney Plus.
Thank you.
I will be watching it. That's the thing. I did not like. Last Jedi was okay in the theater, and then after seeing stuff and thinking back, I was like, man, there's a lot of unnecessary stuff. Like Rose literally does not need to exist. Like Jar Jar Binks made more sense in the Star Wars canon than Rose did. So
I mean, there were a lot of plot holes dangling that they didn't. Not necessarily plot holes, but just plots that they left dangling.
Yes.
Like, what was it that Finn wanted to tell Rey?
Yeah. Why did Snoke die such a stupid death? Like, so
but that's not a dangling plot. That's just something I disagree with.
Yeah. It's crazy. Anyway.
I thought his death was pretty cool. But...
What's up, guys?
Yeah,
GG Movie Reviews.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the episode of MM Movies.
What the hell?
Well,
is that an Ed and Eddie joke?
Jeez. It's MM. It's just like, movies. Welcome back to another episode of Movies. Movies.
Movies.
Well, I guess technically, I mean, if you wanted it to be a verb ending in ing, it'd be like watching. So it's like WW watching, right?
Hey, that would work.
We're watching.
Ooh, watching?
Wabbit season. Anyway, this has gone on to like nothing.
It is delved deep into the rabbit hole.
Maybe it's the rum and coke I had 2 of, but
Huh?
Okay.
no, I treated myself to a rum and coke on this Friday evening with my dinner. But anyway, I guess that's pretty much it. Not a lot of games and nothingness. Well, yeah, we were kind of aiming for ending around 8:30, and it is now 8:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I think we exhausted our mental state during that last 10, 15 minutes. It's just like, let's just bullcrap for the next 10, 15 minutes. I don't know what came out of my mouth, and I'm kind of hoping it's not bad. So
it was just comforting to know that you make random sounds too throughout the day. Like, it made me so happy because I do that a lot too, and my mom keeps nagging about that. It means that I'm a crazy person. Like, come on, no, it doesn't.
Honestly, I feel like it's for us more creative types, it might just be a way for us to just keep that creativeness flowing in our brain. Maybe I don't know. Because there's so many times I'll like hear a beat. Like, I remember one day I was taking the trash to the bin at work, and the rain was beating down on a piece of cardboard. It was like,
oh my gosh, I know.
And I was like sitting there like, dude, and I was just like, stop! It's cardboard on rain. It just no. Yeah.
Just start singing like a random song.
Yeah. But it's just like, it's crazy how you can do that. Like you hear a beat, you hear music and stuff like. It's so cool, honestly, to be creative. Like, it's a blessing and a curse, because it's like you look at something, it's like I see a face in that wallpaper, and so
listening to rain on the cardboard, ain't got no pain. A beat the water's making. Now I'm baking a cake. I'm alpha.
That's Andrew.
Yeah.
That's Nint Ice. Okay.
Yeah.
And they were quite a crazy bunch.
Okay.
They were 3 men not living together, so they were all alone.
Till the one day that Andrew wanted to do a podcast, and he knew there was much more than a hunch, so he grabbed some buddies off the internet, and I don't know.
Come on, grab a friend.
The crazy bunch.
Distant lands.
All right, I think that's it. We have nothing. We have nothing more to talk about.
Oh man, I need to eat food. That might be my blood sugar might be low or something. I don't know. I'm not even diabetic. So.
I can just imagine.
Oh no! Now you made me think of small.
I can just imagine you laying on the floor talking in your mic. Just like,
Now you made me think of that scene in Volca where Paul Forsythe to talking to the megaphone, and he passed out and smashed his face.
Just remember Mr. Meaning.
and he smashed his face on the control panel.
I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. And he crammed his mouth.
And he slammed his head on the control panel and fell.
Yes.
What is this?
I love those movies. I love Paul Blart 1 and 2.
There's gonna be a third and a fourth one, apparently.
Are you serious? That second one. I will crawl inside you and lay eggs like a baby spider. Dude, we lost it on that second movie. The first 2-3 minutes. Oh man, it's just there's such good movies. Like, we're eating the crummy banana and stuff. It's great. It's beautiful.
My favorite comedy movie is still the first Zoolander.
Okay,
that one's my favorite.
I have not seen that. I need to.
When I was little, I thought WALL-E was the funniest movie ever made.
I remember when I was like, oh my gosh, when WALL-E put the bra in his eyes, he's like, whoa.
I lost it when the massage robot had a seizure in the Axiom.
I never saw WALL-E.
This is the most fun
turned
episode
into
we've ever had.
Like
This
this
is the
week's
most
topic
fun
is gonna
episode
list
we've
all the
had.
topics, and then the last topic is just gonna say and nothing.
So I say, just name the video. I don't even know, man. Like, just
Yeah, we talked about
It's just like
Animal
quarantine
Crossing, we
has
talked
made us
about-
crazy.
yeah, we talked about Animal Crossing, talked about Sonic, we talked about Blaze the
I
Cat,
was
we talked
keeping
about-
track of it, and then I stopped at Sonic. So when I go back and listen, I gotta write it down.
enjoy an hour of men talking about video games, and then 15 to 20 minutes of them delving deep into their psyche and the recesses of their minds. So yeah, it's just
Yeah.
that sums up this episode pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's it then. Ah, shit then. Goodbye, everybody.
It sounded like you said shit.
That's shit then. No. That's
Okay.
Goodbye, everybody. See you whenever we are free to record again. Hopefully next week. Stay safe.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Take care, everyone. People say nothing's impossible, but I do nothing every day. And
Oh.
nothing is the best type of something.